what the is a data warehouse actually for? Because if you ask most teams, they'll say something like reporting, dashboards, or analytics. And that answer is exactly why so many companies make terrible decisions with good data. Most data warehouses, they fail quietly. So let's get something straight right away. A data warehouse is not a giant database. It's not a dumping ground for everything. And it's definitely not a dashboard factory. If your warehouse exists just to feed charts, you're already in trouble. Dashboards don't create clarity. They create confidence. And sometimes false confidence. And see, that's where the problems start. So what is a data warehouse actually for? A data warehouse is a decision-shaping system. It answers 3 questions. What happened? When did we decide something? And what did we know at the time? That's it. If your warehouse can't tell you why a number changed, who depended on it, or what decision it influenced, then it's just expensive story with a UI. And you're paying a lot of money for very little insight. And here's how this usually goes wrong. A company builds a warehouse. They're excited. They pipe in product data, sales data, marketing data. They build dashboards, and the dashboards, they look great. Executives love it. Everyone's happy. And then one quarter, revenue dips. A dashboard flags churn. The numbers, they're all red, and leadership panics. Budgets get cut. Teams get restructured. A strategy changes. People lose their jobs, and entire departments get reorganized. But 6 months later, they realize the dashboard wasn't wrong. It was just missing context. See, the warehouse didn't lie. It just answered the wrong question. It showed what happened, but not why, not how, and not what depended on it. And see, this is where traditional data warehousing breaks down. See, facts without relationships, they're just numbers. And numbers without context lead to bad decisions. You can have perfect data quality. You can have every metric tracked, and you can have real-time dashboards. But you can still make the wrong call. And that's because you're optimizing for accuracy when what you actually need is understanding of your data. And see, what data teams need isn't actually more data. They need lineage, they need dependencies, and they need assumptions documented. They need to know which metric feeds which decisions, which models depend on which table, and what breaks if this number changes. That's not a dashboard problem. That's a data model problem. And most warehouses aren't built to answer those questions. So let's reframe this. A data warehouse should be opinionated. Not everything deserves storage. Not every metric deserves a dashboard. It should be decision aware. Every metric should have an owner. Every transformation should have a purpose. And it should be explicit about assumptions. And what do we believe? What could invalidate this particular data? If you can't trace a path from dashboard to metric to transformation to source to business decision, your architecture, it's incomplete. And this is why so many modern tech stacks feel brittle. They optimize for speed, they optimize for tools, and they optimize for pipelines. But they're ignoring meaning. They ignore relationships, and they ignore decisions. Architecture doesn't exist to move data. It exists to reduce bad decisions. And if this resonated with you, go ahead and follow. This entire channel is dedicated to how data engineering actually works and data architecture as well. And if you want to go deeper, I put together a knowledge graph starter guide. It shows how to model relationships, dependencies, and decision context on top of your existing data stack. You don't have to throw anything away. You just have to add structure that actually reflects how decisions were made. Link is down below. This is where data stops being reports and starts becoming understanding. I'll see you next time.